private sector operates with cash basis. They don't operate with accrual. So for the private sectors, you can have things like accrual, that is revenue are recognized as at when incurred, or when you make your sales transactions, but not when you collect the money. And also expenses are recognized as at when they are incurred. So not until when you pay the expenses before you can say you've recognized what expenses. But in the government sector, it's not like that. In the government sector, when you make payments, that is when you can recognize what expenses, and when money comes in, that's when you can recognize what receipts. So we can say that's a cash basis of of accounting. So we can say this is a futures of accounting. So the second one is IPSAS accrual basis of our accounting. So IPSAS, yes, IPSAS is a future of public sector accounting. We know that IPSAS stands for what? International Public Sector Accounting Standard. Also, we have fund accounting. Yeah, fund accounting is also what? A futures. Then provision of private goods and services. So this has a question mark. Uh, for something to be public sector accounting, you can't be providing private goods and services. Then the last one is keeping departmental votes expenditure allocation book. So the DVA, this is also what a futures of what a future of public sector accounting. So based on what I've said, I can say that D is not is not part of a future of public sector accounting. It's not part of a future of public sector accounting. All right, so I move on to the next one. Next one, which is number two. I need to be very fast with this so that more interested in the theoretical aspects. These are things you could just read in seconds and you know where your answer is coming from. All right, so which of the following is not in the current concurrent legislative item in the Nigeria Constitution 1999 as amended? So which of the following is not in the concurrent legislation item in the Nigeria Constitution as amended? So you have three times of items as provided by the Constitution: concurrent, exclusive, and the legislative part of it. So for the concurrent, you are looking at it like, okay, that's for the like local governments. That's relating to like local government. So you must be able to link this up to what if you don't understand what the concurrent legislative item means, and then they become a problem. So what they're asking here is like, okay, everything belongs to this concurrent legislative list, but which one of them does not fall under under that aspect? Which one of them does not fall under that aspect? Like I said earlier, the concurrent legislative list, you have the exclusive list solely for the executive arm of government, and you also have the legislative leaves, and the concurrent has to do with like the local government. Concurrent has to do with what like the local government. So you need to be very careful here when you're answering this question. Very, very careful, because if you don't have an understanding of it, you have issues why attending to that. So number one, we have commerce, we have agriculture, we have health, we have foreign mission, we have transport. So if you look at all what we've mentioned, for someone like a local government legislative control, you can't say commerce is part of the purview. So when you say commerce, it has to do with trade or buy. So you can have trade or buying transactions within a local government, within the purview of the local government council, as the case may be. You might have agriculture, you can have health. But when it comes to foreign mission, it's a question mark. Foreign mission. Foreign mission cannot be controlled by the local government or council, or by that's what I mean by concurrence. So it can't. It is solely for the exclusive arm of government, and sometimes even extension to the legislative arm of government. So you need to be very careful there. So all of them, transportation, yes, transportation, they can be involved in the concurrent legislative item, been transferred. Foreign mission, this is way not in the purview of what concurrent legislative item. It is not in the purview of what concurrent legislative what item. All right. So the third one here is so number one that we've treated. I said provision of private goods. That's not the future of public sector. Also, number two that we've treated, they said foreign mission is not part of concurrent legislative what item. The third one. So in the exam, you shouldn't be spending up to 5 seconds answering a particular question. Once you know that you know, the ones you don't know, leave it, skip it, go to the next ones. The ones you know, make sure you just look at it. 5 seconds, you are done. Just look at what you need to do and what answer it what appropriately. If you know you are not too sure, go to the next one immediately. All right. So, which of the following is not a duty of the local government council? Which of the following is not a duty of the local government council? Which of the duty of? So let's look at it together. The first one is making laws, debating, passing local government legislation. Yes, the local government council can do this. They can do this. Then the B part, they said debating, approving, and possibly amending local government annual budget. Yes, it's possible they can do this. They don't expect the president to come and do this for them. They can do this. Monitoring and the implementation of project and program in the local government annual budget. Yes, they can do this. Okay. That there is a compliance with the provision of financial memoranda. Yes, they can do this. Then let's look at this one. Then they said taking care of local government finance, whether in cash or held in the local government bank account. So it's not a duty of local government council. So taking care and custody of the local government's finance, whether in cash or held in the local government bank account. Hmm. That's a question mark because this is a local government council. So they don't take care of the finance, either in cash or in local government account. They don't. So someone who does that is you have the treasury, you have um you have the accountant general for even the local government, and these are the people that are responsible for the taking care or maybe like managing the finance of the local government, not the local government or council. Okay. So if you have any question, ensure you let me know. Make sure you flag it off and let me know. So I'll take it up from there. All right, the fourth one, I need to be very cautious of my time. The fourth one, which of the following is not among the condition for granting immediate retirement benefits? So which of the following is not among the condition for granting immediate retirement benefit? So immediate retirement benefit is when your employer asks you to go on retirement without the due date. So what are the condition, or which one is not among the condition? On compulsory retirement, on attaining the retirement age of 60 years, on voluntary withdrawal of service having served for 3 years and 9 months, retirement on public interest, on health ground, on voluntary. So the B part, I've never seen it in my life. I've not even heard about that. So I don't think the B part works for it. It's not, you can't say you have a voluntary withdrawal of service having served for 3 years and 9 months. This is not in the law. This is not in the law. So this is out of it. So B is not part of this. B is not part of this. B is not part of this. So I will move on to the next one. And once it is 4 o'clock, I'll go to the theoretical aspect so we could detail out so many things there. So I'll move on to the theoretical aspects once it is 4 p.m. All right. So Under the content of financial reports prepared by the Office of the Accountant General, education is classified under education is classified under A. Economic sector, B. Legal sector, C. Social service sector, D. Administrative sector, E. Health and technological sector. So this is not part of it. This can be part of it. This can be part of it. Of course, it is under what social service sector. Social service. So it is service. It's not like administration. Administration is for internal. This is legal. Legal is legal. Economic is what economic. Then we have health and technology, which is far obvious for me. Then social service is what social services are services that are enjoyed by the populace, by the public easily. So that is why education is part of what the social service what sector. So you have to take note of that, please. Take note of that. I don't know if you are jotting this down. Don't know, and ensure that if you have any question, make sure you would call my attention so I can explain further on that. All right. So we have another question. It said the cost of stores, the cost of stores which are chargeable direct to and remain a charge to national chart of accounts, the code of estimation in which funds for their purchase are provided in the estimate is so the key word you have to take note here is like funds are provided in the estimates. That is, it is under the purview of the law to provide fund for these estimates. Is what are they? Number one, we have expendable stores. Two, non-expendable stores. Three, we have allocated stores. Four, we have unallocated stores. Five, we have consumable stores. So, which one of them? So, funds are created for them. It means that it is allocated. It is what? It is allocated. That is, we have already allocated what fund to this what to this store. So, means funds are what are allocated. That is, this kind of store are what are allocated. Not it's not like expendable stores and non-expendable stores. So by allocated stores, what we mean by allocated store is that it's a situation by it has already been captured under the budget or estimates of the what of the account of the federal government or the account of the government, as the case may be. So they have already make plans for it. It's not like within all forces circumstances. It is inside the budget that what we have this. So that's why we'll classify it under what allocated what stores. All right, we'll move on to the next one, which is number 7. Trying to bring this down. Okay, for number 7, he said, which of the following is used in the preparation of bank reconciliation statements? Bank reconciliation statement is a statement that is prepared to ascertain the differences between your cash balances and your and your bank balances. So which of them is used in the preparation of this? So what do we need? Let's look at this. Which of them do we need? Vouchers and bank statement? No, it's far from it. B, cash book and advance register? No, far from it. C, cash book and bank statements? Yes. Let's look at other options. Store issues voucher and payroll? No. Check summary of register? No. So the C part, which is cash book and advance statement, just like what I've explained, bank reconciliation statement is a statement prepared to ascertain the differences between your cash balance and your what bank balance. What is the balance? How do you know? So what do you now need based on what I've said? What do you now need to prepare your bank reconciliation statement? Very simple. You need your cash book and you need your what bank statement. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Move on to the next one. The treasury cash book is used to record dash. The treasury cash book is used to record dash. So what do you use your treasury cash book to? I remember taking this in the class. So it's a very useful thing. So you might be asked in the exam, treasury cash book. That's one of the fundamental cash book of what in the government used by the what government sector. So number one, receipt of funds only, no. Payment of money only, no. Receipt and payment above line only, no. Payment of salary advance only. All receipt and payment, irrespective of their nature. Yes. So he has this what as the answer, irrespective of their what of their nature. Okay, so we spend much time already on this, and in the exam, it is expected that you just what use by 20 minutes. It should be done with your multiple choice in less than 20 minutes or 20 minutes. Max 30 minutes. Then use 30 minutes for your filling the gap. Okay, so number nine, which is ninth one. Which of the following is a source of revenue into the federation account? Source revenue, federation account. Source revenue into the federation account. So don't forget, federation account is the account that is owned by both what that is owned by both the federal government, state government, and local government. In this case now, you're not preparing local government this thing. It is the 3 tiers of government account. That's what we call it federation account. So you must be familiar with it. So when we're not looking at revenue, we are not talking about the revenue that has to do with states. No, we are looking at the revenue that can come into the account that can be shared based on the ratio to the three words to the 3 tiers of what of government. So let's look at the revenue that can come in. Petroleum profit tax. Yes. Rent of government property. Rent of government property is not direct. We don't know the government property. Is it state? Is it local? Is it federal? So you can't just come here and say rent of government property. No. We need to know which one we are talking about. All right, the next one is arms selling license fee. No, that's not arms selling. When you are selling arms, that's the federal government. Like I said, federation account is the combination of the 3 tiers of government. The account is what we refer to as what federation what accounts. D reimbursement, E court fees. So the right answer to this is A, which is petroleum profit what tax. Petroleum profit tax. This is a tax that it is shared between what the federal government, state government, and local government. Let me give you an example. River State has oil, and most of the PPT will come from what River State, Bayelsa, that's the Niger Delta. Even regarding that, they are the owner of the oil. What happened when whatever money we accrue from those areas are shared based on proportion to the state government, local government, and to the federal government. So you must take cognizance of this. All right. So the tenth one. The tenth one. The officer that liaises with the chairman of the local government and the house legislation when there is bound to be a meeting is very simple. That's the secretary. Is the secretary. Okay. That's the secretary. All right. So the 11th one, which of the following is not a custodian? Pension fund custodian. So which of the following is not a function of pension fund custodian? A pension fund custodians are those people that has to do with the welfare of pensions, take care of what pension issues, matters regarding what an employee. So it's quite different from what the RSA, which is the retirement savings um, administrator, retirement savings administrator. So the PFA are more likely the real people that are charge that are in charge of an employee pension cases, while the RSA are just like the intermediary between the employee and the PFA. So now they're asking us for the what for the function, which one of them is not the function. Let's check. Receiving the total contribution remitted by employers on behalf of pension fund administrator, on behalf of pension fund administrator, yes. That flight. Notify the pension fund administration within 24 hours of the receipt of contribution from any employer. That also flies. Hold pension funds and assets in safe custody on trust for the employees and pension retirement savings account, which is the RSA. So, which is the RSA? Yes, that flies too. So the custodian is like the intermediary, like a bank between the what employee and the what PFA, pension fund administrator. All right. The D part provide data information on investments to the pension fund administration and the commission. That one self flies. Collection of capital gain tax. No, 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 no. Collection of capital gain tax is solely collected by the FIR, which is the Federal Inland Revenue. It is not the duty of PFC, which is the pension fund custodian, to collect capital gain tax on what by the Federal Inland Revenue. So you must be familiar with that. We must be familiar with that. So your exam might not come with what we are doing. But what we are just doing is just to have an idea of how to what answer these questions when they come. When they come, make sure you read out the options very well, get familiar with it very well. If you know you are not familiar with it, try to remember what has been discussed. If it's a topic that has been discussed in class, ensure that what you trace back the knowledge so that you can do justice to your to your question to the question. So please, these are the good benefit of of reading ahead. All right, the 12th one. Which of the following is not an essential feature of a valid voucher? A valid voucher. So it's not a features. So the classification, yes. Payment voucher number, the date, name and address of payee, which is like the beneficiary. Then the E part, internal auditor address. No. How does internal auditor address relate to a valid voucher? It does not fly at all. It does not. All right, let's go to the next one. Which of the following is not a content of Treasury single account e-payment teller? So first of all, Treasury single account, which is the TSA, is the account that is being regulated and organized or under the watchword of the three then is not a content of TSA e-payment teller. So e-payment teller. Of course, let's go through it. Account name of the beneficiary, purpose of the payment, amount payable, account number, color of the checkbook. Content, color. Nobody knows the color of the words of E. It doesn't even use to use checkbook since it is what e-payment teller. There's nothing like checkbook. So you know that the odd one out of this is what is E. The odd one out of it is what is E, which is what color of checkbook. Color of checkbook. Color of checkbook. Okay. I have 10 minutes more to round this up. So, which of the following is not a factor identified as critical to the sources of GIFMIS? So, Management Information System, Government Management Information System. That's what GIFMIS, Government Information Framework Management Information System. Or most likely, I used to call it Management Information System, which is what your MIS. So MIS has to do with both private and government. But in this case, we are talking about what? Government. We are talking about government. So which of the following is not a factor identified as critical to the sources of management information system implementation? Critical or important to it. So let's see. The management information system must be able to support your management programs. Two, dedicated staff and consultants. Effective organization change, strong internal and external communication. E, no need for formalized training. No, 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 no. E is not part of it. E can't be part of it. You can't say that you have that kind of system and you say that there's no need for formalized training program. All right. So let's go to the fifth one. By dash of the Federal Government Government Service Act. with laws. They are what they are done by the we have we have the National Assembly that does that. In bill approval and whatever that can do this in Nigeria according to law is the what National Assembly. So that answer my question. I go to number 16. Number 16. The Auditor General of the Federation and the General Financial Statement and submit his report to each house of this is 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. Again, I don't need to be in a PSA class for me to attend this. This is 90 days. These are common things that if you are listening to news, in fact, it is obvious you have gotten one or two of this information. So this is 90 days. So the Auditor General of the Federation works within 90 days of the receipt of the General Financial Statement and submit the report to the national or which of the and financial crime. So Ministry of Education, no. Federal Ministry of Women's Affairs, no. Ministry of Health, no. Ministry of Power, no. Ministry of Justice, yes. Yes, Ministry of Justice. Because EFCC has to do with justice, has to do with crime, regulations, and everything. So if you check all of them, the only ministry that qualifies is what Ministry of Justice. 18, 18, number 18. An offence punishable by imprisonment or fine or both for an officer to deliberately split contract work, purchase or procurement of service is referred to as bid security, no. Tender splitting, variation clause, mobilization fee clause, contingency clause. Tender splitting is an act. Is an act of you taking a portion to the other portion for yourself. For example, I have what a 20,000 US dollars deal for my company or for the government or contract. I just tell the contractor that I want to. I mean, I tell the vendor that I want to carry out that work on my ministry. I just tell them that ah, please oh, as to back the way we speak, either imprisonment or fine, because it's sure that what you are sabotaging the income of the what of the government. Okay, so we go to number 19th. Number 19, that's ZBB. So as if you look at it, zero based but the technique that essentially are justified as the activity they're just taking up for the first time. Based budgeting technique. So imagine you're having a zero what? A zero budget, a zero plan, and everything is just starting from afresh. So because as it's starting from afresh, you have an idea that you want to what build up just what a budget, a budget that is that has not happened before, that is just taking off for the first time. So this is what zero based budgets. This is the scope of a zero based budget. First one, a development plan spanning a period of not less or greater than 5 years is called a perspective plan budget system. Okay, no more than 5 years. Planning program budgeting, program performance budgeting system, input budgeting system, input out budget. So the right answer to this is perspective plan budget system. This falls within 5 years of planning of development plan. Within 5 years of development plan. I hope you are taking note of all this. I just hope you are taking note of all this. I hope you are taking note of development of natural resources, consumer revenue fund, state government in Nigeria, share of the valuation of economy. So the federal government's share out of the federation account is further distributed among the following, except they share from this development of natural resources, consolidated revenue fund, state government in Nigeria. No, they don't share for the ecology, yes. Federal capital territory. So these are all considered stable except for what the state government in Nigeria. The state government in Nigeria don't share funds from the state government of Nigeria. From the state government of Nigeria. They don't share funds from them. The fourth one, 24th one, which of the following is responsible of third quarter of the federal level? So which of the following is responsible for the issuance of budget call? Budget call circular. So that's like raising alarm of the budget for a particular fiscal year. So which of them? The president, no. National Assembly, no. Budget offices, Ministry of Finance. The right answer to this is Ministry of what? Finance. They are the one that make the issuance of what? Budget call. Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance. Okay. We are already in 4 o'clock already, so I'll need to wrap this up and go to the theoretical aspects where we can gain more insights. All right. So 25th one, which of the following, which of the underlying fundamental principle is not used in the preparation of financial statements in the public sector? Is not used in the preparation of financial statements. Consistency of presentation, acquire basis of accounting, going concern, matter. If you are joining, try to mute your mic. Amos, try to mute your mic, please. All right, thank you. So I'll take that again. Which of the underlying fundamental principle is not used in the preparation of financial statements? So we don't use first in first out in the preparation of financial statements. All things can be used. Don't use first in first out. FIFO. We don't use FIFO in preparation of what? Financial statements. We don't use FIFO in preparation of financial statements. So which of the following is not in function of Fiscal Responsibility Commission? It's not a responsibility of Fiscal Responsibility Commission. Monitoring and enforcing the promotion of economic objective. B. Disseminating standards practice of public expenditure. revenue collection, understanding fiscal financial studies, apportioning and approval annual estimate for public institution, apportioning and approving annual estimate, comparing so the right answer to this is D. You can't say you are going to apportion or approve annual estimates for public what institution. That's not their function. All other functions are their functions, but this D is not their function. This D is not their function, which is what apportioning and approving what annual estimates. All right, I'll go to the next one. Public Procurement Act establishes Public Procurement Act establishes a consolidated revenue fund, medium-term expenditure framework, National Council on Public Procurement. Earlier, public procurement Act established. It's obviously what C, National Council on public procurement. Okay, so the rest are hard. They are not part of the exercise. Okay, so 28 one. Which of the following is not a member of National Council on Public Procurement Matters? Which of the following is not a member? So let's look that out. Minister of Finance, Secretary of the Government of Federation, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Head of Service of the Federation, the Economic Advisor to the. So the C part, the one that is all out, is what? Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs. If you look at all of them are pertaining to this thing, but Minister of Foreign, what do you want to come and do there? We are not talking about foreign matters there. Okay, so it can't be a partaker of that sort of the exercise. Then the 29th one, which of the following best define materiality? Materiality. You are in ATS 2. I'm sure you know what materiality means. Materiality concept means. So 20, that's 29. Okay, so assessing whether change in accounting date is properly taken care of. No. Applying a new accounting policy to transaction. No. Assessing whether an omission or misstatement could. Exactly. So materiality is the process of assessing whether an omission or misstatement could influence the decision of users. So sometimes something is not material if it does not influence your decision as a user. For example, a company that is making billions as profits, if somebody now steal, let's say 1 million, it is insignificant, it is not material. But the process of you now stealing 500 million, wala mashelo, is what? There's a problem. Or maybe that company making billions, somebody just stylishly take 10,000. It is not material. So, but when you take 10 billion, ah, then it becomes a problem. So that's just a layman interpretation of materiality. That one, which of the following administrative tool is used to amend the existing provision of financial regulation? Which of the following administrative tool is used to amend the existing provision of financial regulation? Okay, finance is it treasury circular, financial regulation, financial memorandum, MTFF, fiscal. So the right answer to this is finance and treasury was circular. Finance and treasury, finance and treasury circular. So one with the first, we'll go to the correct answer. We'll come back to the was fill the gap if we have time on our side. If we have time on our side, and also take a lot of distance. So like I said earlier on, you are advised that you start with your theories before you go into the multiple choice. So theories. So when you are doing your theory, you can have do that lose your time. Take a question. The office of the accountant general at government is the central nerve system of the government financial activities. You are required to enumerate what are the main functions of office of the accountant general of the federation. Now, a question like this should be answered based on the tone of how they have set their question. Now, look at it, what they're saying. They are telling you, they've given you a scenario that what accountant general, their office is the central nerve of government financial activities. That is, if money want to come in, money want to go out, one thing you must look out for is the accountant general of the federation. What is he doing? Things like that. So to answer questions like this, you have to be very calm. You have to understand what the examiner is asking you to do. The examiner is telling you to what? To explain the main functions of the office of the accountant general. First of all, what you first do is what? Explain the accountant general office or the accountant general. Who is the accountant general? So the accountant general is somebody that controls the affairs of the accounting procedures, financials, financials, and what report system of the what of the country. It directly reports to the what to the executive arm of what of government and has an oversight function from the what legislative arm of government. Once you can write this one, full stop. The following functions are the functions of the accountant general office which is pertinent to the government. One, you now start what by you what explaining or by you what listing them out. You can see the way I entered that. So it's not just for you to just say that number one function of accountant. You know, this is number one question. How many mark is it? Let's look at it. How many mark is it? So you have to be very, very careful. So this is about 12 and a half mark. This is about 12 and a half mark. 12 and a half mark and only a part. A part is taking about seven mark. So you need to be very careful. So what are the functions of it? Let me read. I don't know. Aminat, you have not been talking since. I don't know, maybe you are in a party like Amos. But which way? I know you can hear me very well. Okay, so I'll be listening at the functions. I said the first thing you have to do is to explain the office of the accountant general, which I've explained earlier. And I said the following are functions relating to the what office of the accountant general. One of it, first part of it is what the accountant general serve as the chief accounting officer of the receipt and payment of the government of the federation. So they serve as the receipt. They are the first call any money that comes in, any outflow, inflow and outflow. The accountant general office are the one that what that recognizes this or this activity. Two, supervises the account of the federal ministry, extra ministries office, and other arms of government. So this is very important too as well. So the supervises other what other account, not just the federal government accounts, but all other what all other accounts. Then three, you have collate, prepare, and publish financial statement of the federal government and other statement of accounts required by the Ministry of Finance. So anything accounts, anything preparation of accounts, this office are responsible for what for that. Also, we have what management of federal government investment. They manage what federal government what investment. And also we have established and supervises federal pay offices in each state capital of the federation. So you have that as well. Quite a number of them. There are many. You can have up to what 20. You just have to think. You just have to think and what put down something down and put down something down. So you have to understand that what anything that has to do with finances of the government, supervising accounts, all these things are the duty of the accountant general office. And when you say accountant general office, the person that is in charge of the accountant general office is who? The accountant general himself. What does he do? What does he do? Who does he report to? What oversight function does he have? These are things that you need to look into when you're answering this question. I've listed out some functions like up to five. So you need to take that into consideration. In fact, this area I'm mentioning should be a very key one. Please, I beg you, visit it. They don't joke with it. You can see it not really in your OBG or something, but when I say you should revisit it, I mean it might likely what be pushed out by ICANN in your what in your theoretical aspects, because it's just a question that tests your knowledge on the roles of principal officers of the federal government. So rules of federal, you have two kind of principals. You have the temporary principals, those that are appointed, and those are appointed, and those that are not appointed, that they are by offices. So the chief accountant general falls under the place where they don't appoint them. They don't really appoint them. They go by what their normal years, like that. Then why you have roles appointed by the officers or by the president or by the executive arm. Those people are like the minister of finance. Those are appointed rules. Like Wale, minister of what? Finance. Those are appointed rules. But for the accountant general, they are not what? It's not an appointed rule. It has to be what a normal recruitment what exercise where you are going to what retire and stuff like that. So you need to take consideration of all this. All right, let's look at what they have. So this is the B part now. Looking at the B part, what did they tell us to do in the B part? All right. They said the Integrated Payroll Personnel Information System (IPPIS) payroll consists of financial and non-financial information which reflects the financial contribution made or deduction from an employee payslip. Okay, which reflects financial contribution made or deduction from an employee payslip. You are required to state the statutory contribution and non-statutory contribution made from the employee payroll with example as it contained on his or her payslip. This is very simple. So first of all, what is statutory contribution on payroll? What is statutory contribution on payroll? What is statutory contribution on payroll? Say it is a compulsory contribution from employee payroll to the relevant and appropriate government agency or organization and is regulated by legal framework. The objective is to regulate and stabilize the monetary and fiscal policy of the government. Examples are pay as you earn, payee or personal income tax. Yes. So the essence of all this statutory contribution is to regulate the fiscal or even inflation in an economy. So whereby there's too much money in place, the government can regulate this by ensuring that we have what high taxes that are paid back to the government to us to have regulated that. So and it is very essential. It is used as a control tool. It is used as a control tool for stuff like like inflation. Like in Nigeria, for example, what we have today is a cost push towards inflation in Nigeria. So in essence of that is that everything is just what is going high. Already you have the loan, whatever up, you have the payee even going up, everything is just high. That's the cost push. This is so in this kind of situation, you can't apply this kind of tool by saying that you should increase payee so that it go up because already there's already high intense things are already naturally what high. But in Ghana inflation rate is a demand pool what inflation rate. I'm just trying to explain where this statutory contribution can be useful into. Is a demand pool what inflation in Ghana, for example. So in Ghana, for example, now you can have that kind of situation put in place like okay, let's increase tax. I'm talking about real life thing. These are what is happening real for now. For now, these are what are happening. In Ghana, you have like 23.5% of the inflation rate. In Nigeria, you have 29.9% inflationary rate. So if you look at all this, all of them have their own what control mechanism. They have their own control mechanism that you can put in place. So why one can work in Ghana, in Nigeria, it might not really work out. Okay, so the statutory contribution is just something. So, and I said something. I said what pay, which is tax payee. Then you have National Health Insurance Scheme. Those are strategic disjunction. You have National Housing Fund. You have Pension Fund what administrator. You have Pension Fund administrator. Then what are the non? Because don't forget the question state that what state the statutory contribution and non-statutory contribution. So statutory contribution, that is what I have mentioned. Oh, pay as you earn, National Housing Fund, and what? National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. So what are the non-statutory contribution? Non-statutory contribution include bank loan deduction. Bank loan deduction. So some of us have loans that we so or that we collected that we need to just remit maybe monthly, yearly, as the case may be. So non-standing, so that's like bank loan. You have standing order. You have cooperative. You can just think of anything. You have standing order and union due. You want to pay dues and the likes like that. So that's in fact this number one is very sweet. If they can ask this kind of questions for you guys, it's a very good one. All right, so we move on to number two. Move on to number two. Move on to number two, and for number two, first of all, there's a computation analysis here that you need to require. Do you have a data set? You have a data set of Just Right Venture, a parastatal under Aboki State Government, is preparing its cash flow statement under direct method and has provided the following information. So don't forget, so you prepare cash flow. We're using two methods. You have the direct method and the indirect method according to IS 7. Direct method, indirect method. For the government parastatal, mostly they use the direct method. But for normal business or organization, you use the what? Indirect method. Anyway, this is not a financial accounting class. So let's just work on our information. So you have the information and they have told us that they are using the direct what method of what cash flow. You have the requirement, compute the following: cash received from customer, cash paid to supplier, cash paid on operating expenses, payment for non-current assets, additional share capital, and etc. Okay, so I'll be solving this question now, and in doing so, I'll be working with my Excel. I'll be doing this using my Excel just to quickly all this. So you have to have the question. I don't know, maybe you have this question. You have to have this question so that graph through we could be on the same page. Okay, so can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? I'm on Excel now. I'm trying to solve this question. Okay, so I don't know, you're not talking, but I can assume that you are seeing the screen. All right, so based on the information given to us on the question, the name of the company is Just Right. Name of the company is Just Right. So I'll come here, say Just Right, Just Right Ventures. Just Right Ventures. That's the name of the company. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to ascertain computation of cash collected from customers. Computation of cash collected from customers. Come here, I'll say computation, cash, cash collected from customers. Okay, so having said that now, I look at my question. Anything that has to do with customers are what I'm going to consider based on what you can see on the screen. So anything that has to do with customers, those are what I'm going to what consider. So I'll first start with what I have my Naira sign. Let me first put my Naira sign. So I can be on same page. Okay, give me my Naira sign. Then I have First thing I have there is account receivables. Account receivables has to do with what? Customers. Account receivables. Account receivables. So I look at the date as well. Dates matters to the date. So the date here is 01 at 01 01 2020. How much is the value? I don't. How much is the value? The value is 2.5. 2,500,000. So next thing now is for me to add credit sales. Add credit sales. Add credit sales from the. Okay, so based on this, the total. So the total gives me 10,500,000. So now, based on the question, I have account receivable. You are raising your hand. Okay, can I hear your question? Can I hear your question? Kindly unmute and talk Unmute and talk. If you don't unmute and talk, there's no way I can hear you. You have to unmute and talk and ask your question. Can you hear me? This is serious. Oh. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so you were raising your hand. Any issue?
Yes, yes, I can see the question on the screen, sir. I can see the question, sir.
Oh,
From the beginning, sir.
on the beginning.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Let me go back. Okay, so this is the question. This is the question.
Okay,
This is
sir.
Yeah, this is the question. So, but I'm sharing my slide. What in this question? I think. Do you have the? You need to have the. What maybe what I will
Pack.
do is we need to have the question itself. This particular question itself. So I'm trying. Let me screenshot this. I'll make a snapshot and put it on the platform so that you can look at it on your phone. And I am
Okay,
going
sir.
to I'm going to because I'm solving it already. I thought you are even looking at it. I don't know that I was just talking
No,
to
I'm,
myself.
no, I'm listening to you, sir, but I couldn't see what you are saying, sir. I could not see it, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I'm trying to put it on the platform, but I can't. Okay, I can't even access the platform. Let me send it to the admin to do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. This area is very critical when it comes to this. So you need to understand it. If you don't have any, if you have any question, let me know.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to take a complete snapshot of the question. So you can see the screen, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let me continue that. You can even leave your mic open. No issue. Your background is not noisy, so we can make it interactive.
Yes, sir.
So can you see the question from the group chat?
No, sir. Let me
Okay, I feel like
Yes, I've seen the question, sir.
okay, good. All right. So can you see my Excel? Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. Okay. This is what I've been doing so far. All right. So the first thing, the requirement there say that we should do our what computation of what I mean our cash collected from customer. So account receivables, anything that has to do with customer will be bring here, will be brought here. So account
Yes,
receivable
sir.
means that the money that we are expecting to collect from our what our customer, and as
Customers.
at 001/2020, that's the opening balance, which is what 2.5. And I said add credit sales. So we sold some goods on sales, which is 8 million. The total give us what 10.5. So we have
Mm,
account receivable as at closing, Abi, in the question. How much
yes,
is
sir.
how much is it?
Let me check now. Please.
Account receivable 31st 12/2020. You don't need to check far. It's
That
just
one
at
is
the
1,500,000.
good. Thank you. You are following. All right. So that is less what account receivable. Now I want to determine. Don't forget, we want to determine the money that we collected from customers. So account receivable. That is the balance. This is the balance at year end. So this
Yes,
balance
sir.
at year end is 31st 12. I'll come here. I'll say 31st 12. 31st 12. 31st 12 2020. So 31st 12 2020. How much is the value? I have it to be what 1.5.
1.5. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I'll just make sure I do that. So just look at my screen, look at what I'm doing so we can be on the same page together. Alright, so I come here, put my normal this thing, then I now come here and now say so the total will give me what cash collected.
Oh.
Cash collected for the period. Cash collected for the period. Cash collected for the period will be what total of this. Mm-mm. 9 million. That is 10.5 minus 1.5 will give me what 10 million. All right, so I'm done with that. Are you having a class after this class?
No, sir. I don't think so, sir.
Okay, so we need to finish this
But it
question
says we're having FA after this class. Let me check, sir.
after this class. FA, Abi.
Yes. No, it's only PSA. I
Okay,
don't
only
think we're having it.
okay, only PSA. Okay, so that means that so I'm done with that. So what's the number two requirement in the question? Second requirement in the question. What is it? What does it tell us to get?
They say prepare statement. Okay.
No, the first requirement, number two. After cash collected from customer, what's the next one?
Cash paid to supplier.
Okay, so I'll come here. I'll say computation of cash payments, cash payments to supplier. Remember that this is a cash flow using what direct method.
Method. Yes,
Eh,
sir.
Using direct method. So I'll come here. I'll say trade payable. Trade payable has to do with suppliers. That's why I'm coming to take trade payable. So I'll come here. I'll say trade payable. How much is trade payable as at the beginning? How much is trade payable as at the beginning?
That is 2 million.
2 million. Perfect. Thank you. 2 million. All right, 2 million. So as at the beginning, I'll change this guy to 2 million. Okay. All right. So do we have credit portion?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. The network is bad. It's 4 million, sir.
Good. 4 million. Thank you. 4 million. 4 million. One, two, three. All right. 4 million. Okay. So this plus this will give me how much? 6 million.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. So you can see my 6 million. So do I have um trade payable as at year end?
Yes, sir.
How much is it?
2,100,000.
Good. Thank you. Trade payable as at year end. It is 2 million minus 2 million. Okay. So I have a balance paid to my supplier
Yes, sir.
of 3.9. That's payment for the period. Payment paid to supplier will be what? 3.9. Payment paid to suppliers. 3.9. All right. So do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to the next. So what's the next requirement? What they ask us to do? Next, after payment to supplier, what's the next one they ask us to do?
Cash paid on operating expenses.
Yeah, let's do that one sharp, sharp. The same process. We'll do that. See, it's very simple. So in case you see it in the exam, make sure you do it. Oh,
Okay, sir. Yes,
yes,
sir.
but all right. So I would take this. I'm just using because I'm using Excel. That's why you can see it's easy for me to duplicate.
Yes, sir.
So, but in your own book, if you can duplicate like that, just copy and paste. I'm sure you cannot. So
Yes.
computation of this will be payments on operating
Expenses.
expenses. Good. Expenses. So the same way, what is my operating expenses, which is accrued operating expenses as at the beginning of the year? As at the beginning of the year.
Mm.
Accrued.
That is 500,000.
Good. 500,000.
Yes, sir.
Operating expenses as at this period is 500,000. One, two,
Yes, sir.
three. All right. So do I have operating expenses in the period?
In the year, yes, sir.
In the year, how much is it?
That is 3 million.
Perfect. Perfect. So operating, I'll not say add operating expenses in the year according to what you gave me. So you said it's 3 million based on what you tell me once.
Yes, sir.
So everything gives me 3.5. So do I have accrued operating expense as at the ending of the year? As at
Ending.
end of the year, do I
Yes,
have?
yes, sir.
Okay. How much is it?
That is 400,000.
Good. Thank you. I'll come here. I'll say accrued operating expense. Accrued operating expense. Based on what Aminat has told me, it is what 400,000.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. So I have what my total payment for the period for operating expenses to be 3.1. Payments of operating expenses, everything will be 3.1. Good. So what's the next one again? Next computation. What's the next computation there?
Payment for non-current assets.
Okay.
Assets.
Okay, payment for non-current assets. So in this case, I want you to pay attention very well. There might be um, little swift of what we used to do before. So just pay attention, sha. So computation of
Okay, sir.
payment, computation of payment for
Non-current assets.
non-current asset. Thanks. Non-current assets. Alright, good. My template is ready. So do I have non-current asset as at cost, as at the beginning of the year? So
Yes,
what I
sir.
will do is I'll abbreviate non-current asset as NCA. NCA stands for non-current assets. So non-current assets at cost. Do I have it in the question? At
Yes,
cost.
sir.
How much is it? As at the
That
beginning.
is 150 million.
Good. 150 million.
150 million.
Yes, I get that. Thank you very much. I get
Yes,
that.
sir.
Thank you. Let me try to expand this. Okay, 150 million. All right. So do I have any now you have to be very careful here. You have to be careful here, and I'm going to this is what it means. So you have to ask yourself, do you have additions in that information? Do you have disposal? Do you sell out assets? Do you buy more?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened in that question? Can I get the picture of that question? Because I'm on the screen, I can't see the question. So
Yes.
what happens there? Is
After
it
the
is
non-current asset at the beginning for the cost, the second
yes?
one is non-current asset cost on disposal.
Good.
On
So
the
if
cost disposed.
on the cost disposal, so if you are disposing, if plus or minus, you have 1 million, you are now selling out of that 50 million. So is it a plus or minus?
What do you say, sir? I can't hear you well, sir.
Okay, I said you have 150 million asset at cost, and then they
Yes,
not
sir.
tell you that you are selling, you are disposing. I'm not
Yes,
asking
sir.
a question. I said, is it a plus or minus? Is it that you are adding to your 150 million or you are subtracting from your 150 million?
I'll subtract it from my
You
150
subtract.
million.
God bless you. So I'll
Yes,
come
sir.
here now and say less what? Disposal. Asset at disposal. Less what? Less asset. Less non-current asset dispose, which is my NCA. Don't forget
Yes,
NCA.
sir.
Then disposed. Okay. So how much is the NCA disposed? How much is it?
149 million 100,000.
149,100,000. 1, 2,
Yes,
3.
sir.
Okay, good. So it means that I have a balance of what? 900,000. 900,000. So
Yes, sir.
as at closing, do I have as at closing? What
Yes,
is it?
sir.
As at closing, how
It
much is it?
is it is 1,800,000.
1,800,000.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll come here now and say So the way I will structure this, look here, this is how I'm going to structure this is assets. So I'll come here, look how I'm going to do it. This is my beginning, Abby. So my
Yes, sir.
structure, my NCA at closing, NCA at cost closing, at cost. I'll say closing, NCA closing. Closing means 31/12/2020. Shebi now. So
Yes,
how much
sir.
do you call the figure? How much do you call the figure?
Let me
One
check again, sir.
1,800,000.
1 million
1 million.
800,000. Yes, sir.
Good. All right. So it means that look at the movement. Let's look at the movement. It means that at the end of the day, when I sold that asset, I have 900,000. But
Yes,
as
sir.
at the end of the year, what I have is 1.8. What has happened? Look at the movement. I'm supposed to have 900,000. This is my expected balance. Expected
Yes,
balance
sir.
900,000. But as at the end of the year, and I have 1.8. What does that tell you as an accountant? It tells you that what they have buy more assets. That is why you have
Yes.
as at closing
During the
1.8.
period.
What did you say?
I said they bought more assets during the period.
Is it stated in the question?
Just sir, there is still questions on account depreciation on non-current
Yes,
assets
we'll
disposed.
come to that place. Let's do computation of non-current asset first at cost. We'll come
Okay,
there.
sir.
You get. So look at the movement. I'm supposed to have 900,000, but at the end of the year I have 1.8. So it means that there's a increase of what 900,000. What zone? But one increase seeking it increased to 1.8. So that means that there is an addition. So this addition, I'll put it as what balance figure. Let me understand. Is what balancing figure. Balancing figure. Balancing figure. So how do I get that? This is 1.8 minus this 900,000.
900,000.
You get. So it means that that
Yes,
addition
sir.
at the end of the day, my addition should now be
1 million.
900,000 plus 900,000, which will give me my
1 million.
1.8. 900,000 plus 900,000 will give me my 1.8. All right, so we are
Okay.
good with that. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So let me
You
go to
subtracted the closing balance with the
the
opening with
with the
the nine
expected.
hundred thousand
Yes, with the
that
expected.
you
Let me put
got.
it there. Expected balance. Okay, expected balance. So this is the
Yes,
expected
sir.
balance, 900,000. But they told us in the question that you have 1.8 as at closing. So if you have, if as at 1st January or as at April, you have 900,000, then I tell you that at 1st December, you have 1.8. What does that tell you? It means that within April to 31st December of that year, they have buy an additional asset of 900,000. No fi wọ kini 1.8.
One point
Is it
six. Yes,
explanatory?
sir.
Is it
Yes,
simple?
sir.
Yeah, so it's very
Yes, sir.
explanatory. That's what they call movement of transaction in account. That's what they call movement. You have to study the movement. What has happened? What has okay? They bought an asset. So they will not tell you in the question, but you have to use your initiative to know that okay, of there's a movement of increase. Okay, so let me take the next one. The next question, I'm just putting everything AA. I hope you change all this AA when I give you the soft copy. Okay, the next this thing, what do we have there, please?
They said cash received on disposal of non-current assets.
So I'll come here now. Let me do this. This question is a very chronic one. Once I'm done with this question, that's all. We've
Yes, sir.
done justice to a lot of things already. So
Yes, sir.
computation of amount computation amount collected on non-current assets. So how much
Yes, sir.
One pint asset disposed, how much is it? Hello? Aminat, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, that means Aminat, you are having issue with your network. Please kindly let us know if you can hear me. Network is really hello, Aminat,
Hello, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir.
Okay, all right, sorry for your okay, so back this asset, don't want to current asset. So I want current asset disposed. How much is it? You know, you've told us already. How much is it?
Yes, sir.
How much is it
Is
on the
it on?
question?
Is it the one on loss?
I don't understand. What is it? Hello?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
What did you say? What did you say?
The non-correct asset is 150,000, and we've
The
done
one
that one,
disposed,
sir.
disposed. Amount of
Okay,
value.
this was 146,300,000.
It is 149,100,000. Amount disposed. Amount disposed of. How much did they sell it now? You called the figure for before, which is 149,100,000.
149,100,000.
That is what I'm asking you for. So now you now look for your accumulated depreciation. How much is your accumulated depreciation?
2,600,000.
Good. Accumulated depreciation. So 2 million. Don't forget you are going to minus it 2,600,000. 2,600,000. So now look at it. Your carrying amount, which is your net book value, carrying amount. You know the meaning of carrying amount? Carrying amount is your cost minus your accumulated depreciation. That's your carrying amount, or you can call it net book value, NBV. But don't call it. I don't like calling it net book value because it's not a professional word. The best term is carrying amount, which is 146
Okay,
million.
sir.
Now be with me here. Be with me here. Be with me here. Don't joke with
Okay,
what I
sir.
want to say now. All right. So you have to compare this figure with the sales, with how much you sold it, with how much you sold it. So if you check the question, the 146,300,000 that you first mentioned is a loss on disposal. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you come here. They've told us already. So you have your less. Say less loss on disposal. Because less loss on disposal. Less loss on disposal. So loss on disposal because 146,300,000. That is all we sold it. No, we were supposed to sell it for 146,500,000, but eventually we had loss of 146,000. So the loss that they're talking about there is equals to 146,300,000. That means that we have a we have an amount received on disposal. Amount received on disposal. Amount received on disposal. Amount received on disposal. How much is it? 200,000.
Yes, sir.
Just compare the loss that they gave to you and how much you are expected. This is the amount you are supposed to sell it. But eventually, it
Yes,
was
sir.
sold for this rate. So this is the
Yes,
amount you were
man.
shortfall of.
Um,
200,000. All right, we are going to use this thing for our cash flow. Just look at that. We are going to do everything. So what's the next thing there on the question?
they said additional additional share capital.
Next requirement. Next requirement.
Yes, cash received on disposal of non-correct assets.
Mm-mm.
We've done that one now.
Next requirement. Next computation. What should we calculate? Check the requirements.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, sir.
Is it additional share capital?
Yes, we've done the cash received on disposal of non-correct assets. It remains additional share capital.
After additional share capital, uncle.
Interest paid on loan.
Okay. So let's do interest paid on loan. Computation of interest. Thank you for interest paid on loan. So for interest paid on loan, we have loan interest outstanding as at the beginning. What is at the beginning of loan interest?
Loan, let me
Loan
check, sir.
interest.
Interest outstanding. That is,
As at the beginning, 01/01/2020. How much is it?
I'm coming, sir.
Okay, no problem. Take your time. Interest as at the beginning. It should be straightforward. They should give us in our question.
520,000.
Thank you. 520,000. 1, 2, 3. 520,000. Okay, so do we have interest charge for the period?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm
That's
gonna
four
add that.
hundred thousand.
How much is it?
400,000.
Thank you. Interest charge. Interest charge for the period. According to Amina, she said 400,000. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's a budget. Okay, so I have 920. 920 is my expected interest charge. What is my loan balance as at the year end?
That is 430,000, sir.
430,000. Thank you. So I'll say loan interest outstanding. Loan interest outstanding. Loan interest outstanding. As at when? At
Yeah.
31,
12.
31, 12, 21, 2020. Sorry. So according to Amina, she said minus 430, 1, 2, 3, 430,000. So it means that my interest paid on loan, my interest paid on loan is 490,000.
Yes, sir.
Interest paid on loan is 490,000. 490,000. Do you understand that? Interest paid on loan. So this copy, you have to have the copy of all this so that you can know how to navigate all this thing. So what's the last one? Additional share capital, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Thank you there. Additional share capital. Don't worry, I'll soon release you, okay? This is a very interesting area, but it might come out in your exam.
Yes,
I
sir.
I just wish that if it comes out, you smash it out very well. So
Yes, sir.
at completion of additional additional share capital. So what's the shares at the beginning? Shares
That
as
is
at the beginning.
14 million.
14 million.
Yes,
Share
sir.
capital. It's at the beginning. 14 million. Okay. So additional issued share capital. Okay. But before that, do we have share capital as at the year end?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so share capital as at
That is
year end. As at year end, how much is it?
18,500,000.
18,500,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at the end of the day, we have what? An additional issue issue share capital. This is a balancing figure. When I say balancing figure, it means you have to subtract something to get it. So that is, to get this one, what do I do? I'll say this
Subtract.
minus this. Can you see it?
Yes,
This
sir.
minus this will give me what? 4.5. So there's an additional share capital of 4.5. How do I get 4.5? They said
You
closing
subtract the
18.5,
closing with the
opening 14
opening.
million. Subtract it together, you get what? Additional, which is what?
Yes,
14.5. Do you get
sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we are done with A part. The B part, what did they ask us to do?
Hmm? Prepare statement of this is it now. Prepare statement of cash flow for the year ended 31st 2020.
Estimate of cash flow for the year ended. Okay, look at the way I'm going to do that. So I used to tell my students every time, whenever they are doing any accounts, the name of the company matters. The name of the company matters. So this company we are working for, we are doing their direct cash flow and cash flow analysis is Just Right Venture. So I come here, I retain the name, which is Just Right Ventures.
Hmm?
I come here, what do I want to do? What kind of analysis do I want to do? I want to carry out
State-
cash flow statement for the year
Ended.
ended. Thank you. 31st December 2020. So hope you're not having class.
No, sir.
All right, good. So let me finish this up
Hmm.
fast.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Sounds tell that in the question there is still depreciation on non-current assets for the year, and we haven't done that, sir.
Depreciation.
On non-current assets for the year.
Okay, so depreciation on non-current assets in a year, it's not a use since we have accumulated depreciation. It's
Okay, sir.
not it's not useful in this case. If we were doing the indirect method, it would have come into place. So it's an irrelevant
Okay.
question here. You have to be careful of the examiner. So that depreciation is an irrelevant what information. We don't need it. If it was a indirect method,
Okay.
you are going to use depreciation, and this is how it comes into place. You have to do your profit before tax. You add up depreciation.
Uh,
You add up loss on disposal, less gain on disposal. You check for your finance costs, which you are going to add. You're going to do some other things like so. Those are the indirect method. But this distribution does not know. So anywhere it can fall is when we are doing our non-current asset. We have done our non-current asset, but what we use is our accumulated depreciation, which is more powerful than the depreciation itself. So it is not what's going to be it's not going to come into play in this area. Do you understand me?
yes, sir.
Do you understand? So it's not going to come into play. So it's an
Yes, sir.
irrelevant. You can in your question, if you know what you are doing, just asterisk it that this one is not going to come into place. So that's a good one, Amina. Thank you for that observation. So it is
Yes,
an
sir. Thank you,
irrelevant
sir.
question. It won't come into place based on what we are doing. All right. So now there are three things that make up your cash flow statement. Three things makes up your cash flow statement. You have the cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing
Everything
activities, and cash flow from
from
financing
financing
activities.
activity.
Good. I'm remembering you of memories, Abby. What you've done in the classroom.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Don't worry. What tutorial do you attend?
Springboard.
Okay. All right. So that's nice. Okay. So for cash flow from operating activities, I'm going to be making use of. Let me put this here. So this is my capital letter A. This is the first part. So this is the first part. So this is the first part. So what do I need? Let me. My Naira sign has not been there, so I need to activate my Naira sign. So okay. So I have done my direct method of cash flow up. All these things we have done up is our direct method. Look at it. All these things, they are our direct method. So I'll be coming here to take my figures. So just watch me while I do that now. Okay, the first thing I need to do is my cash receipt from cash. Don't forget cash flow from operating activity. I've already solved all this solution. So I'll just come here and say was my cash received from customer, cash paid to suppliers, cash
Hello,
paid
sir.
to suppliers. Yes, can you hear me?
Sir, I'm with you, sir. I
Okay,
can hear you,
so
sir.
all right. So I was saying that
Yes, sir.
everything we
Yes, I
have
can hear you,
done,
sir.
everything we have done is what I'm going to come and take. Okay, so I need everything we have done. This one we've done. The A part is are the things that make up for your direct method of cash flow. So what do I need? I need cash received from customer. I just go to what cash received from customer. How much we've calculated it before, which is 9 million.
Nine
Look at it,
million. Yes,
nine
sir.
million. Yes. Then cash paid to suppliers is 3.9. So in this
Yes,
place,
sir.
it's not going to be plus 3.9. You know you are paying money out. If you are paying
Yes,
money
sir.
now, what does it mean? It's minus,
You
Abi.
subtract it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, subtraction. So I'll come here, I'll say minus 3.9, like you can see on the screen. So I'll now
Yes,
come
sir.
here, cash paid for operating activities. How much do I pay for my cash paid for operating activities? Cash paid for we've done it up already. Cash paid for
Yes, sir.
operating activities. Activities. Cash paid for operating activities. So how much is it? You know that one too is minus. So I'll come here, I'll say equals to minus cash paid operating activities. Where do I do operating activities? Okay, this is my operating
Yes, sir.
activities.
3,100,000.
100,000.
Yes, sir.
So I come here and now like okay, I'm going to do my bottom butter so I can get my this. So at the end of the day, I have what is called my net cash flow. My net cash flow from operating activities. And that don't forget this is A. We just do A. So what do I do here? I'll just come here. I'll say equals to sum of this. Don't worry, your book, you just need to follow the guideline. So everything gives me 2 million. That is 9 million minus 3.9, 3.1. Everything that will give me was 2 million. So I'll now go to the next one. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, all right. So I'll go to the next one. Next one is the what? Investing or investment activities.
Okay.
I need to highlight this so that it will be bold. The next one is cash flow from what? Investing activities or investment activities. Investment activities. So and this is going to be what? The B part. This is B.
Investing
This is B part.
activity.
So what do I do during this period? What are I doing? Purchase of non-current assets. Do I in investment activities? What you are looking at is do you make any purchase? Do you make any sales? How much do you get for the sales? Do you make any sale? Do you make any disposal? Do you make any disposal? Okay, how much does it cost for you to buy additional purchase of the non-current asset? Those are the questions you have to save here. So those are the questions you have to save here. So I'll come here. I'll say what? I'll say purchase. Do I have any purchase of non-current asset? Yes, I think we did the calculation. Purchase of NCA, non-current assets. So look here, equals to, let's go. Let's go to where non-current assets is. Now, can you see it? Look at my balancing figure. Addition of non-current. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes. Hello. Yes,
All
I
right,
can
so
hear
I
you,
said, look
sir.
at the
Yes, sir.
screen.
I
Can
can
you use
hear you,
addition
sir.
of non-current asset that we have done before, balancing figure?
No, sir.
Just, can you
Yes,
see
I
the
can see it
screen?
now, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, okay.
Yes.
So 900,000. So I'll come here, purchase of non-current asset 900. That's where I got the 900,000 from. It's a balancing figure that I got from my. Do I have proceeds? The answer is what? Yes. How much is it? It's 200,000. We've done it here. This is it. Amount received on disposal. This is it. 200,000. It comes here. So when you are done with this, what do? You do your total. I think that's all we have for this. That's all we have for this. So sum equals to this. Guy gives me this. So I come here and I do my what? Net cash flow from net cash flow from investment activities. Investment activities, which is what? B. Which is B. Okay, so after this, remember the last part is what? Financing activities, right? Right? Now with me again, oh. Financing. Okay, financing activities. So for financing activities, we look at what? Shares. You look at loans. Shares, you look at loans. Don't forget, you look at shares, you look at loans. So shares, share issued, share issued, share issued. So share issued, how much is my share issued? I'll go up, I'll make my computation up already. This is it, share issued, additional share issued, 4.5. So interest paid, do I have interest paid? Yes, I do. Interest paid. Interest paid on loan. Interest paid on loan. How much is it? Equals to minus. Okay. So the total gives me what? Just come here and copy this guy. So I come here, I just copy this guy. Net cash flow from financing activities. From financing activities. This is my C part. This is my C part. So then I have my what? I have my total. This is my bottom border. I have my total. So I call this total of – Total of cash flow activities. So this is what A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C. This gives me some of this. Yeah, which gives me so when you make purchase, hello, listen. When you make purchase, it's an outflow. Money is going out, right? So this
Yes,
guy
sir.
has to be, yeah. So this has to be minus 900,000. Please take note. When you make purchase, money goes out to minus 900,000. So I have my total cash flow activity, which is A plus B plus C. It gives me 5.310 million. So at the end of the day, look at this. So I don't know. There might be a mistake in the question. So in the question, the closing balance should be 610,000, 6 millions, 110,000, because we've done everything right. Do you understand me? Do you understand? Hello? Hello, Aminat, are you there?